get into this. Let's get into this tier list. So, Me Without You. Banger band. Banger band. Been around forever. I can barely explain their genres. They're such a very strange band who 100% fits the bill. Like, they 100% do what they want here. Look at this. Look at this right here. Check this out in their Wikipedia of their genres: indie rock, post-hardcore, art rock, spoken word, and emo. What? I know everyone knows what post-hardcore is, but like, what kind of band has post-hardcore and spoken word on their same toss-up in genres? It's weird, but they're great. They've influenced so many people. What bands have like been heavily influenced from them? Silent Planet, one of them. La Dispute, heavily influenced by them. That's only naming a few bands. Literally every single band on like Tooth and Nail, Solid State, freaking love Me Without You. I gotta start that over. My brain is fried. I never said I was Brave EP. Honestly, I never listened to this EP a bunch. It's kind of whatever. I think I gotta put a D. I think I gotta put a D. I don't like it that much. I really don't. It's like, it's really whatever. I don't quite like it that much. And compared to all the other Me Without You albums, it's not as good. But the release after that, A to B Life. Oh wait, the album cover might be different on the browser. Yeah, it's this one right here, A to B Life. This one's pretty good. This really leans into their post-hardcore style, because you got songs like Bullet to the Binary. In fact, you know what? Let's just pop that one in right now. Yeah, Bullet to the Binary, you know, kind of really isn't a great example in this album. Kind of just fits in to their post-hardcore thing. This album though, it's really good. It's pretty good. I mean, I like every single one on there except for the 15-minute song outro. That's just a killer to listen to, and I can't sit still to listen to it. But like I said previously, you know, we know who our enemies are. I never said that was Brave. It's on this album, and they're better on this album, I'll be honest. I feel like it's a solid B album. I feel like Me Without You's got bigger songs later on, better songs later on that clear nearly every single song off of this album. I feel like the only song off of this album that's like memorable is the one that's playing right now, Bullet to the Binary. I feel like this one doesn't have as many standout songs compared to others, but it's a good album nonetheless. It's a B, solid B. Next album, however, Catches for the Foxes, the album everyone listens to or has listened to, and the reason why is this song right here. This one singular song has like elevated Me Without You. It's so good. And I kept seeing Spotify like prop this like album up as like a positive emo thing. I don't know what that means, but it's such a good album. I mean, like the opener, Torches Together, is so great and leads into January 1979, which is a song currently playing. It's so dope. It's so dope. And then you got Seven Sisters, Disaster Tourism, really good songs. And then that's not even getting into Paper Hanger and My Exit Unfair. It's just a solid album. I feel like there's so many memorable songs on this album, like in general. This just put them up so high above from like A to B Life and any other release before it. I want to say it's an A tier. I feel like there's better albums. I do want to say there's better albums than them. This album kind of hits that sweet spot of keeping that post-hardcore sound, but getting like a little bit more, I want to say softer. Softer feels like a crude thing to say. Maybe a little bit more poppy, maybe. A little bit, because like later albums, they get a little bit more folky. A little bit. But like, it's still so good. It's such a good album, though. Do I want to say it's S tier? Is Catches for the Foxes an S tier album? I kind of want to say it's an S tier album. I really do. That's fine. We'll keep it at A. We will keep it at A for now. It's a really good album. It's definitely an all-timer. The next album, Brother Sister. This one right here with the fish. You can see it right there. That one right there with the fish, right? It's really good. The opener, Messes of Men, is just really nice. Again, this album, how do you best describe this album? This album I want to say it kind of leans into the folk rock or that indie rock thing a little bit more than previous albums. I guess you could say it gets softer by a certain extent, but by no means is it like a bad album. It's still so good. It's still super good. On actually the first 6 songs you got on this album, it's just back to back to back, no skips. Because you got Messes of Men, which is playing right now. Dryness in the Rain, it's super good. Wolf and My and Shadow, it still keeps that post-hardcore feel that they got going on. And Yellow Spider, you know, little interlude of a thing, but it's funny to listen to. A glass can only spill what it contains, and nice and Blue Part 2, bangers, man. And then you get further into the album, then you got C Minor. It's just such a good song. It's so good, I can't get away. And then the closer, In a Sweater Poorly Knit, really touches the softer side of Me Without You. I mean, it's so good. This song's so catchy. I've never once been able to get it out of my head. I know the song from front to back entirely. Because of that, I want to put an S. I want to put Brother Sister S tier. Yeah, I really do. I really want to say Brother Sister's an S tier album. The songs are catchy. They still keep a little bit of that rock. They're heavy. It's so good all around. It's dope. It's a dope album. There's not much else that can be said. It is a dope ass fucking album. Honestly, I'm gonna be honest. I don't think they have any bad albums. I think Me Without You has done nothing but put out bangers. But this is pretty much just me ranking what I like more than others. All right, the next album is It's All Crazy, It's All False, It's All a Dream, It's All Right, which would be this one right here. This one right here. This album is not as heavy as any of their other ones. At this point in time, it's definitely their softest album. There's one thing Me Without You can do, it's make catchy songs. They do really catchy songs. Like right now, the song playing, Every Thought I Thought of You, super good. It's super good. You got like this weird like piano thing going on in the background the entire time. Super dope. It's just a super dope album. And then you got the next song, The Fox, the Crow, and the Cookie. You got the music video for it. It's such a weird and interesting song. But but that's exactly what it is. It's weird and it's interesting. And I love it. And then The Angel of Death Came to David's Room. That really, if I could give an example of like a folk rock song, it'd be that one. That one's really good. I think the only sleepers on this album for me are A Stick, a Carrot, and String, The King Beetle on Coconut Estate, and Allah, Allah, Allah. Not because it's just, I don't know. I just don't like that closer as much as In a Sweater Poorly Knit. The songs are so catchy on this one. Even if it's like a softer album, they're super catchy. Like if you go listen to this album and you listen through the first 4 tracks, it's like you can tell how catchy they are. And then if you listen through like tracks 6 through 9, it's just more catchy. But it's such a weird album. It's such a departure from all their other stuff. But I love it so much. But is it an S tier album? I think I just gotta say it's A tier. I think I just have to say it's A tier. It's definitely softer than all their other stuff, but it's really nice. It's really nice. It's such a nice album to listen to. 10 Stories. Where are we at? 10 Stories. Right over here. This one right here. This little elephant thing going on. It's really good. Like I said, they can't make a bad album, but it's very different. How to explain it? Like you get to Catchers for the Foxes and Brother and Sister, and it's like the heavy's still there, and then by the time the It's All album comes out, it's that the heaviness starts to fade away, and they get a little bit softer, which is fine. Bands can get softer and still be good. Me Without You is a great example. How do I feel about 10 Stories? Honestly, I really like it, because it still feels like Me Without You. Like February 1878, play on words of January 1979, by the way. It's still really a really good album. I mean, Grist for the Malady Mill's a really good one. East Ender Wives, Cardiff Giant, Elephant Dock, Aubergine. Basically, tracks 1 through 6 unskippable. Like the first half of this album is unskippable in my opinion, just because they're all really catchy songs, super good. And then it kind of loses me a bit by the end of it. By the end of it, I'm kind of just like wanting a little bit more catchy Me Without You. I kind of want a little bit more heavier Me Without You, and I feel like don't get that as much. I don't get Catchy Me Without You for the second half of this album. It's still a good album. I'll say it's a B. I'll say it's a solid B. I don't think it's better than Catch Us for the Foxes. Oh, and also, this is 10 Stories was their first album off of Tooth and Nail Records. Yeah, after this album right here, the It's All album, they left Tooth and Nail, went to a different label, and put out this album. Second release, Other Stories, be this one right here. I guess it's just like a couple of B-sides from 10 Stories, but I'm gonna put it C. I mean, it's just 2 songs. The 2 songs are whatever. They're kind of forgettable. I'll be real. Actually, no, it's D tier. The songs are forgettable. They don't matter. They're not as good as any of their other releases. No one like I never hear someone bring up like, oh yeah, Other Stories is a banger. You know, I can't really say anything else about it. It's just whatever. All right, next album. The album I got into, Me Without You. And when I mean I got into, it's that when I started listening to Me Without You, it was in 2015, and they had put out Pale Horses. I will say it was a very good album. I remember first listening to it. Oh, by the way, Pale Horses is this one right here. I remember listening to this album and thinking, wow, this is different. This is new. I never heard this before. Honestly, this album's a return in sound for them. They still keep the soft folkiness of like previous albums, but they get back to their post-hardcore a little bit here. They go back to being a little bit heavy, which is always nice. You always like it when bands go back to being a little bit heavy. I feel like the standout songs in here are Watermelon Ascot, D minor, which again play on words from C minor in the previous release. Mexican War Streets, which is playing right now. You got Red Cow, Blue Hen, Lilac Queen, Magic Lantern Days, Burnham Wood. It's just really nice. It's just a really good album. It's how I got into them. They have some pretty catchy ones on this album. They also have some pretty forgetful ones. I feel like comparatively in albums they listen to, this one I feel like gets a lot of hype just because like it feels like a return to older. Shut the fuck up. Anyways, I feel like reason why a lot of people like this album is because it's a return to their older sound and like a more mature sound, even though they're not as softer as they used to be. How does it fit comparatively? I don't know. I feel like there's that Catch Us for the Foxes to It's All album run in Tooth and Nail is probably their best work they put out at this point, but it's not a bad album. It's a pretty good album. Ooh, Pale Horse. I want to say it's a B. I'm gonna put Pale Horses at B. Yeah, I think we put Pale Horses at B. It's a really good album. The next one to rank, Cleo's Fairy Cemetery. It was a standalone single. I don't know if it was on anything else, but I remember they put it out 2016, and I thought to myself, oh my gosh, this is so nice. It's so peaceful, and it's so pretty to listen to. Yeah, Cleo's Fairy Cemetery gets an A. It's such a beautiful song. Pale Horses Appendix. I guess this is some more B-sides from that as well and whatnot. I want to say Pale Horses Appendix is B-sides from the actual Pale Horses album. Honestly, the only reason why I listened to this album is because I got a sticker when I bought a t-shirt from Me Without You, and it came with the appendix cover, and I was like, oh, I've actually never listened to that. Let me give it a listen to. It's pretty forgettable. I really only like one song from it. It's Chapel Cross Towns. Yeah, I'm gonna say it's a C. It's definitely a C. It's forgettable. I know it's weird that I'm adding like I added the EP, Other Stories, and the appendix on there, but it's like it has newer songs to listen to. It's not like this one right here, which just is a bunch of remix versions of like EastEnders Wives. Okay, whatever. What do you get to now? Ooh, the Bread and Butter, the Untitled EP. Ooh, I remember this first EP. Like when this EP first came out, I kind of skipped it. It's this one right here. It's this weird little ball of whatever the heck that is, yarn or something. I'm not sure. Honestly, this EP, it's whatever. It's whatever EP. I don't really like it that much. It's got some good songs. Dirty Air is really good. August it's pretty good, but like every other one on that, it's not something I really like. And it's the first release on Run for Cover Records. I think it's a C tier too. I mean, it's not that good. It's really not that good. I feel like everything above that is just infinitely better. All right, the last release I'm ranking for them. Untitled, the actual album. They put on an Untitled EP, and then they put Untitled album. This one's easy. Oh, by the way, it's this right here. This hodgepodge right there. Yeah, this one's easy. That's an S tier. That's an S tier album. The very first song, 9:27 a.m., 7:29. Really good. It really shows they're back in the heavy. The very next song, which is the one that's playing, Julia or Holy to the Lord on the Bells of Horses. Really good. This whole album is this. I feel like this album does not have any skips. I really do. Like you got 9:27, 7:29 a.m. banger. Julia, banger. And then you got Another Head for Hydra, banger. Dormhouse Size, banger. Winter Solstice, banger. Flee Thou Matadors, banger. Tortoises All the Way Down, banger, man. But it's such a good album. Comparatively, it's such a good album. It's a really solid album to end on for like Me Without You, and it's just exciting to hear. All right, that's all the albums ranked. What do I want to change now? A to B Life is C tier. I mean, it's a okay album, but I feel like every other thing they put out after that is just has better songs. Like bangers on 10 Stories and Pale Horses are infinitely better than the bangers that A to B Life has. And like the songs that some people may not think are bangers on those two albums, I still think are better than the worst songs on. When I say worst, I mean like the non-preferred. I don't mean like they're terrible songs, but like the least preferred songs on 10 Stories and Pale Horses are infinitely better than the least preferred songs on A to B Life. Yeah, those two can stay in D. Nobody cares about those two albums, let's be real. A tier, Cleo's Fairy Cemetery. It's just a really good song. It's so pretty. I can't. Catchers for the Foxes and It's All False. It's all. I think that It's All False, that'll stay in A tier. It's a really good album, but like it does have skips. Let's be real. It's got skips. Catchers for the Foxes, though, I mean, it has January 1979, the most pivotal Me Without You album. Do I leave that in A tier? No, I can't. That's got to be S. It has to be S. It can't not be S. It's a pivotal album. It's a pivotal album for Me Without You. Every person goes back and talks about how good January 1979 is, and just the overall vibe on it. Let's recap it. You got Brother Sister, Untitled, Catchers for the Foxes, S tier. Those are in my opinion, the three best Me Without You albums. It's All Crazy and Cleo's Fairy Cemetery, which I want to put them in A tier just because it's like they're still really good, but it doesn't scratch the itch of the S tier albums for Me Without You. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't scratch a specific itch. B tier, you got 10 Stories and Pale Horses. I feel like, B tier, they just stay here because like they're good. That like the albums in S tier and A tier, their heaters are infinitely better than 10 Stories and Pale Horses heaters. Like that's just a fact. But they're still good albums, so they're going B. C tier, no, I can't have A to B Life C tier. I can't have A to B. Nah, it can't be C tier. It's got to be B tier. It's got to be B tier. It has to be B tier. You can't have a C tier. I'm having such a dilemma on A to B Life. It's a good album, but I feel like there's so many songs that are forgettable. I don't know. I think it, but it's not forgettable. You can't skip it. You can't skip A to B Life. You just can't though. I think that's why it should be in B. You can't skip it, but It's All Crazy has better heaters than A to B Life. That's just a fact. That's just a fact. And the S tier ones just have better heaters. C tier, Pale Horses Appendix and the Untitled EP. Pretty much those are there because they have some pretty good songs, but otherwise they're forgettable. Last tier to go over, D tier. Those ones are there because you can just straight up skip them. I'll be honest. Nobody gives a fuck about those albums. That's the Me Without You tier list. Better late than never. I love Me Without You. They're a great band. Go listen to them. Blah blah blah. Yada yada yada. This probably won't get any views on YouTube. I just did it for funsies, and I'm probably still gonna upload it because fuck it, I don't give a fuck.